Good morning, professional photographers of Idaho. I am Bob Ryder.
And I'm Jen Alvi.
And it's our PPI Friday live here on YouTube.
Thank goodness it's Friday.
I say that every week now. I'm like, it's Friday. Whoo!
Well, I'm excited because this Friday means we are going to be having lunch. I'm having pizza today with whoever comes out. Yeah.
Today, we're going to lunch today.
Today, 1 o'clock.
I'm getting pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my wife and I usually I do the pizza, she gets the salad bar, we share, it's good.
Yep, it's great. Do you want to show a picture of us eating lunch?
We didn't get that in.
Oh, didn't get it in. Okay.
No, we didn't.
It's all right, it's all over.
Well, we have pictures
our
of other fabulous things to talk about.
But I will tell you, in case you didn't know, it is at Idaho Pizza Company. It's on Fairview in Meridian. Apparently there's more than one on Fairview. The other one's in Boise. Do not go to the Boise one.
We won't be there.
We're in the Meridian one.
Yeah.
I mean, you could go there, but we won't be there.
So let me ask you a question, because it's Friday.
Yes, it is.
What's your week been like?
My week's been busy. My daughter's getting married in like 2 weeks on the 18th. So this is our first child getting married, and you know, you think you're going to be ready, but I'm not. I have a lot to do.
As a dad, I think I could be ready pretty readily. But as a mom, I think that'd be a whole nother basket of worms.
Yeah, it's a number of things, but we're doing pretty good. So yeah, that's been my week.
I'm hoping that some of the folks that might be on watching are going to chime in. We've got a handful of people viewing, so I need them to say good morning to us. Good morning to you. Drop a comment, please, and let us know who you are and where you're watching from. And if you're going to join us today, those are the 3 things I want to know about: who you are, where you're from, and are you going to join us for lunch today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We've got an interesting topic today. I'm going to pop it back up here for just a second and we can talk underneath it. We're going to talk about integrity, both as it pertains to individuals, but also as it pertains to a professional community. And I want to get to that in a couple minutes, but let's cover.
Some thoughts.
You've given me a couple of slides for announcements, so let's hit our announcements. Who do we have? We have LaQuita here.
Hi,
hello,
LaQuita.
and happy Friday. I've had a busy week too.
It sounds like you've been really working.
We've come off of a string of large multiple day jobs where we're shooting dozens and dozens of people. But this week has been individuals like, hey, we've got a new guy, I need him photographed this week. And we need that, so we're doing like 1 day turnaround on all these individual headshots, and we've had 3 or 4 or 5 sessions in the studio mixed in with all the other running around that I try and schedule for when I don't have the big jobs. So it's been busy. I have a son with a broken tibia, right? He broke his ankle. It's actually right at his growth plate on the tibia.
Okay.
And he's doing all right, right?
Yeah.
But so we've been ferrying him around by car, dropping him off at school because he's not hobbling to the bus stop on crutches. All of those things just kind of boom. And you and I have talked about this previously. We're both 3-driver, 2-car households.
Yes. Yep. When you start having teenagers old enough to drive, and then they have jobs, and they start having semi-adult lives, then
So we have one working and in college, right?
Growing pains, yep.
So I think this afternoon after our luncheon, my wife and I are going to go out to that Go Team Mazda event at the old Kmart in Nampa.
Okay.
I'm going to try and buy their $5 car.
They have a $5 car?
They have the car. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be gone by the time I get there.
Right.
But, I got to
throw your hat in the ring.
We must do something is what I'm saying, is it's time. We've got Mike Collins on board too. Says, good morning.
Mike.
I'll be there for lunch. Has he been to the ortho yet? Yeah, Mike, we saw the ortho on Tuesday out in Boise, and he had mostly good things to say. There's always something baffling when it comes to our physiology in our family. So he's got bone fragments where tendons should be, but no pain there.
Huh.
So the doctor's like,
I wouldn't complain about the no
I would
pain.
expect that to hurt, but it doesn't. So and things look good. He's actually starting physical therapy. He's 15. For those of you that don't know my son Jack, he's 15. He plays competitive volleyball and on a boys league here in the Treasure Valley, and actually all their games are out in Salt Lake City and other places out of state. And he was at his second practice and came down bad from a spike and cracked the ankle. I had to carry him out to the car on my back,
Darn it, those sports.
Let's see. Andrea's here. Good morning, Andrea. She's not going to make it for lunch. It's too long to drive.
Yeah.
You should just Facebook in or something and be like, hey, here I am, anyway, I don't know.
Well, we encourage all PPI members throughout the state, wherever you're at, have lunch the same day and just gather where you're
Find
at.
another photographer.
We have some.
And bring them into the
People
fold
throughout.
and go have lunch. I have decided
Okay.
that what was once a guilty pleasure of me eating out, it is actually my way of getting out of my office, which is also my home.
Yep.
I need time away from here because my commute is from one room to the other, and
For your mental health, it's important.
Going
to
to
get out
lunch
of
is
the
my
house.
going to work, and
Yes.
I meet with 2 or 3 different people during the week, each week. I met with Vince Casalito. You've met Vince. He came to our event
I
at
remember
Urban Air. He's a photographer too, and a retired guy. He's actually one of my team members for our big events. Oh, we went to lunch over at Uncle Guido's. You've been over there?
No.
Uncle Giuseppe's. It's Uncle Giuseppe's out on Glendale over in Boise. But it is the true. Mike, have you been to Uncle Giuseppe's? And if not, we need to go to Uncle Giuseppe's because we're due for lunch. It's a true New York deli.
Okay.
He's Italian as they come, and you can go in and get your lunch and your tiramisu. I had Italian wedding soup and a meatball sub.
Sounds delicious.
So no meatball sub today for me at the pizza place. I'll have pizza.
There you go.
All right. So enough. I'm rambling.
It's okay.
But you know what? I just adore the time that we get together to have these conversations.
Well, it's fun. I love it.
great.
Yeah, and come to pizza. We'll have more conversations. So.
Yeah, so the next thing I'm going to hit is this slide that I just put up on the preview. It is we are shifting gears with our Members Connect, and we're moving it to an after hours format. You want to talk a little bit about it for us?
So we had a wonderful meeting recently and tried to find some great concepts for our Connect, and we realized that many of our members, this is a members benefit. So if you're
it's
PPI
intended to be
member,
social.
Yeah, it's intended to be social and connect, right? It's not just a one-person talking thing. So we just thought, sometimes we're working during the day, whether it's in our photography business or you might have another job in addition to your photography, and what a better way to get together than after hours when we can chat. And this particular one coming up will be this coming Tuesday. So rather than our normally 10 a.m., it will be at 9 p.m. And we've asked Jamia Carroll. She is going to be one of our PPI Fall Retreat instructors, and she's going to be talking about SEO. And she really wanted to get on there and have some feedback so that she can prepare her content, because so much of SEO happens to be, what mediums and formats are you using out there? What platforms?
And if you don't know Jamia, she is Sam Marvin's studio manager.
Yes, and a photographer too, I believe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yes. And so she's going to be speaking, and she was going to come on and talk about what she's going to talk about, and also get a little surveying and feedback on to prepare.
And I think we had our board meeting yesterday that she mentioned, and one of the things that we came up with is some of these conversations for our After Hours Connects are going to be both previews or unpacking of our Friday lives.
Yeah, keep the conversation going. I mean, these lives, we love the comments that come in, but it's a little different than like being in the same room, seeing each other's faces, and maybe finding ways to apply those concepts or start new things, or just help us to kind of really connect.
So Andrea says that she's excited that we've moved this to the evenings.
Yay, okay.
I paraphrased, but
Thank
that's
you.
what you said. And Mike has not been to Uncle Giuseppe's, so now I have a lunch date for next week. That's good stuff. So this starts September 7th at 9 p.m.
Yep, this coming Tuesday.
And we run the first and third Tuesdays of each month.
Yes.
That way you're not like, oh, was it the every other thing? And then
put it
you
on
get
your
the
calendar.
5 weeks. It's the first and third.
Yeah.
And that's a really important element. Like, put the Friday Lives on your calendar. If you have trouble remembering Gordon, if you have trouble remembering to join us for the lives, put it on your calendar. And then the other thing is these after hours connect that didn't want to come out. Our after hours connects.
Yes.
That's a great thing to put on the calendar so that you're like, whether it's getting dinner ready and packing the backpacks for the next day or whatever your circumstance is. I've got kids in elementary, high school, and college now in the house, and somebody always coming and going. But in the evenings, I feel like we try to get that all packed up and set aside And then it's me
You got to
time.
carve out time for you,
Yeah.
right? And that's what we're here for.
So, and that's what the After Hours Connect is
Yes.
going to be moving to. I'm excited about that. Laquita says, will they be at 9 p.m. now? Yes, we are moving our Members Connect to an after hours format, Laquita.
Yes.
And I hope you can join us. I know you work during the day, so I think this might be an enabler for you to be able to join us more
so.
frequently. That's the hope. And the
Yeah.
whole reason we're moving this is so that we can build more community.
Right, and as mentioned, you know, we're having this lunch, and Andrea's not as local as some of us to meet right here in the Boise area. So this is a way you can connect no matter where you live in the state.
Yep, good stuff. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next thing, and I love talking about this, and I'm going to have you spend a minute with that. I'm going to put the slide up while you talk, and then I'll bring you back.
If
Go
you
ahead.
haven't heard about our fall retreat yet,
It is time.
It is time. This is going to be at the Teton Peaks Resort is where we're going to be based out of, September 24th through 26th. So at the end of this month, we have 4 weeks now to the day, guys. So get your registration up. We have links all over the place. It's on our website. And the big concern would be making sure you get some lodging.
Yeah, at the Teton Peaks Resort in Teutonia.
Yes.
And I've got to say, I had a wonderful experience booking with them. I called.
Good.
I said we need an RV site. We decided to bring our travel trailer down there. My wife's going to join us for the weekend. What a great opportunity to get away. She'll help Adrian do some of the
my husband
cooking
will be
and food
there.
prep.
He's going to help do some cooking.
This is a great event to bring a friend or bring a spouse to, because it's just, in fact, my very first event with PPI
was a fall retreat. I do remember that.
And
at Albion?
And I was hooked at Albion.
Yeah,
I was hooked.
That was fun.
I met some forever friends that one weekend 4 or 5 years ago, whatever. Good stuff. I guess, like you said, is it's time to secure your lodging, and it's time to get registered. One of the things that having you register for the event early does for us is it helps with our budgeting and planning.
Yes, absolutely.
There's a lot of folks.
We've got dinner and breakfast that we're providing.
Dinner Friday night, breakfast Saturday morning.
And that's included in your registration. So we really want to just reiterate one more time that everyone is welcome. You do not have to be actively having a professional career in photography. If you have an interest in learning more, Professional Photographers of Idaho is geared towards providing professional industry level education and networking and all of those things.
Leadership.
And leadership, yes, thank you.
Good stuff. All right, so I think that brings us to our point today. That's our announcements, right? Boom.
Well, we probably should make
after.
mention, Craig Lamere was advertised as being a guest today.
Yep.
And we just want to apologize. He, we don't know the circumstances, but he is not here today. So.
Well, and so when I talked to Craig this week and asked him to be our guest, he said, I have some things I have to try and move around.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm hoping to be able to get there.
It was a fingers crossed thing.
Yeah.
So.
And he's not here, so that's
Yeah.
okay. That actually makes my technical, you can't see this, but there's stuff
There's
going
a lot of gears in the motion here. So.
There's a lot of gears in the works, right? But anyway, Craig Lamere is one of our speakers. I have to say, you're one of our speakers.
Yes, I am one.
Tell us for just a minute what you're going to talk about.
Okay, so I'm talking about journey to professionalism. Like many of you, we don't start out being a professional photographer. There's a journey, and I will share.
Out of the womb, with a professional photographer logo. Go ahead.
And certainly, this conversation will be applicable to whatever stage you're at. I've got lots of gears in the works. Thinking about a lot of mindset stuff, a lot of concepts. It will be, of course, we'll cover some of the basics that maybe those of you who are actively professional might already be aware of. But if you're a newer photographer, it might be new to you. So there'll be some practical lists. There'll be my personal story, but not too much about me. A lot of it's going to be applications as to how you can even
I think your story is incredibly relevant to our photography community. I think your story is mirrored by so many.
It's common.
So you started out as a mom tug.
I did, yeah. I just started photographing my kids, and it evolves into a
and
profession.
Now you're our president.
And I never would ever have, in a million years, thought that would be something I'd never aspired to do, thought I would do. In fact, I didn't even know if I wanted to join a professional organization to start with. So yes, all of that I'll cover and more. So.
I'm excited about it.
Thank you.
I think it's going to resonate
I'm looking
well.
forward to it.
Whether you're a stay-at-home mom picking up a camera for the first time, or a stay-at-home dad picking up a camera for the first time, so my story is I've been photographing for close to 40 years as an enthusiast, and
I just kind of want to do this.
I talk to a lot of people my age. They're like, oh yeah, I learned in the darkroom back in high school. That's my experience. I had a teacher who taught photography, who taught darkroom, and I've had it with me all my life. So maybe you're that person and you're coming back to photography after a career in something else, or a few careers in something else. Both are really common paths to where we are now. Mike Collins, he's coming off of another career, and a very well accomplished photographer, but later in life, like me. Yeah. I appreciate that about you, Mike. Laquita says too late for her. In the going back to the conversation about the 9 p.m.
Oh,
connects.
too late.
But I get that because you're a working person. That JOB thing gets in the way.
It does.
That's been a thing for Larry this week. His JOB is why he's not here today.
Yeah, understandable.
It is understandable. All right, so it's about 11:15. I want to swing into our conversation today about integrity, but I think it's going to surprise folks a little bit. You know, I don't necessarily want to have a conversation about honesty and about all of those things. Like, I don't want to define what integrity is. I want to talk about how we establish integrity and how we build integrity in our community, in our professional community, amongst one another, and within our professional organization and as individuals. So,
integrity has more than one connotation, right?
It does,
you can think of honesty, but if you think about in the sense of something physical, like say a pipe or something, I don't know, something physical, if it has integrity, it means that it is strong, it's secure, you can trust it. You have confidence in it.
Huge. So I was thinking, in fact, our slide, I'm going to come back to it, is chain.
Oh.
Chain was my metaphor for integrity.
Okay, there you go. I haven't seen his notes, so I don't know.
Well, yeah. But a pipe, that makes sense to me too.
Chain, pipe, anything, something physical.
Do you want to trust yourself to the $5 garden hose from Walmart? Or do you want to find, the $50 garden hose from Lowe's or something like that?
Industrial.
Yeah, so it really depends.
Integrity.
It could be, you could relate this, I could think of a lot of metaphors, memory cards or hard drives or, data storage. Like, data integrity is a big deal for me. I recently had my desktop attached storage croak on me, and it wasn't hard drives, it was the machine itself. And I was saved because I have an off-site cloud backup. I ordered up, they put my 8 terabytes of data on a hard drive and shipped it to me.
Oh, wow.
And I was saved, right?
Success story.
It is a success story, but it's data integrity.
Yes.
And all along the way, there has to be integrity, right? Whether it's your data or whether it's how you handle you know what I hear a lot of, and every industry, I hear this too, and I mentioned this at our board meeting, how many times have you received a call from somebody, or you called somebody back after an inquiry, and they said, wow, I left 6 messages for 6 different photographers, and you're the only one to call me back.
I admit I've heard that many times as well.
Over and over and over. Guess what's missing there? Integrity is missing there.
Yeah.
If you're going to put yourself out there as a pro, or you're going to put yourself out there, let's just say some folks are reluctant to call themselves a professional, but they are still taking money to do the work.
Right.
If you are hiring out, integrity must come along with that.
And I think to that point is some people don't know what they don't know. So I think what Bob is saying here is, this is not a shame session. We're not trying to point fingers at people that saying, oh, shame on you, you shouldn't be doing this or that. It's all about understanding the value of rubbing shoulders with people who might understand things, or having community and culture around what does a professional photographer look like. You don't know what you don't know till you experience it.
Kind of a best practices kind of thing.
Yeah, best practices or.
I don't mean to come off like I'm chastising. I'm passionate about this particular topic. I came here from a rural community, and rural communities are fraught with a few common problems.
Yeah.
And one of those is you might call a few contractors before you get somebody to call you back. And part of that is they're small operations and they can handle what they can handle. And if you catch them on a good day, you can get them to call you back. And if they're out working, they might not. But it was a big problem. I managed a retail plaza that my retail store was in. And one of the problems we had was with our roof leaking and finding roof contractors to show up.
Yeah.
Like I said, this isn't a photography industry thing.
No, yeah.
I hear this about roofing contractors and movers and pick a thing.
Yeah.
Integrity is a big issue. So I want to kind of talk about how I came to this topic today.
Yeah, do.
I was at a leads group meeting this week, and one of my contacts there is a guy named Eric Hirschberger. Eric, I'm giving you a shout out, man. He's with Paul Davis Reconstruction, and the reconstruction industry are the folks that come after a fire or after a flood or after mold damage or after smoke. You know, they do remediation stuff. They're going to rebuild a home or rebuild a structure or whatever that looks like. They're going to get the bad out and bring the good back. And that's an industry that's growing rapidly, but people only ever need them in a time of crisis.
Right, yeah.
So it's never a feel-good thing
And it's
to
probably
have to
urgent,
call this company.
right? It's
It's
like
always
urgent,
an emergency.
like, yeah,
It's always
always.
something terrible has happened, and now you have to call somebody to deal with it. So he was saying, you know, they don't have, this industry doesn't have a great reputation, but I think it's not because they don't do good work. I think it's because people only call them when there's a problem, and then they're shocked at how much it costs to rebuild something, especially now with the costs of lumber and other materials and the timelines it takes to get things done. So Eric was saying he's trying to get together a group of professionals in his industry, and he was speaking about integrity. He goes, I can't imagine somebody belonging to a professional group like that and not having the integrity when they're dealing with clients, because it's going to come back to the group, and there's maybe a peer pressure component to that. There's a peer elevation of the standard, which is, and immediately I was like, Eric, you're talking about my professional organization. You're talking about Professional Photographers of Idaho. You're talking about one of the things that we so desperately try and communicate to our members and prospective members is that not only is it a great place to be because you're going to make friends, or it's a great place to be because you're going to get training or all of the other great things, but you're going to find best practices.
Yes.
And you're going to say, you know what, that guy over there, man, he does a great job with his SEO. Maybe I can pick up some tips from that. It all comes down to what the professional organization can do for you. So I want to ask you folks, let's see what Mike says. Even if I'm saying no to them, I will call them back.
Yeah.
So that's the integrity thing, right? If a client calls you,
and they so appreciate it. You
hey,
know,
you know
they're
what?
Gonna remember
That's outside my wheelhouse. That's not really what we do. But let me give you a name of somebody that we do this all the time.
Yeah. Then you become someone they trust, right? And that's where integrity can translate into the word trust, because then they're going to want to count. They can count on you. You've now made this connection in their brain. Somebody who can help me. You know, I'm going to go to you.
Somebody threw me the bone I was looking for and got me started.
Yeah.
I just find this all the time, and there's so many things that I could relate this conversation to about having the integrity. And like I said, honesty is important. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it isn't. Honesty is part of the integrity formula, but just acting professionally.
You know what comes to my mind talking about this whole concept? Have you ever driven down Fairview and looked at all the car lots? Like, it's car row, right? There's so many car lots right next to each other. And at one point I was thinking, gosh, why in the heck would they ever do that? Wouldn't they want to not be right next to their competition? Like, what's the point? Well, there's so many points in which it is a win-win for the customer and for the dealerships.
So let's talk about the mall food court. Let's talk about the corner that has 3 or 4 fast food restaurants or 2 or 3 gas stations. Let's talk about you can go down Fairview again and find a pizza place here and a pizza place there and pizza place over here, and
kind of a little bit of capitalism in a way, but also just the whole point of you can support each other, but you can learn off of each other. You're going to elevate you might see what somebody else is doing, and then you're going to continue your creative energies to expand on it, and just like this upward spiral where you become like this synergy that's going on, right?
Synergy is a great word for that, where everything is lifting.
You can kind of get each other's back, look out for each other, support each other. You know, I just came from working the fair with my husband for 10 days, and there was so much cross conversations between the other people who run a booth. I was able to tell my neighbor, now she's selling a different product, but we're all vying for the same dollar of the same customers that are walking past, right? People usually only have so much they're going to spend at the fair. So in essence, we're kind of competition, but we're also the same vendors trying to make success happen. Yep. And so I was able to tell her about... So if you get some
really fabulous vendors around you, you're going to draw more people.
Yeah. And we can have best practices. Like one of the problems was, you know, we're not supposed to go out into the aisle and talk to someone else when they're looking at another booth. You know, you're not supposed to go out and grab. I mean, there's little things like that.
That almost shouldn't need to be said.
Is courtesy, but you know. So anyway, there's just a number of things I can relate to that as well.
Yeah, really good. Yeah. I was at a networking opportunity this morning over at Boise Co-op, and 3 of these reconstruction firms, 3 people from 3 different reconstruction firms, were all standing together. This is perfect. You're my client, and you're my peer, and I don't know you yet, but you know if I'm trying to get into that industry, if I'm trying to do work for that industry, I'm going to go where they are, right? So that's working really well for me, and I just love this concept. First of all, we've talked about this in the past. I love to find things outside our industry that apply to our industry. And a lot of the conversations that we have here on our Friday Lives are just that, right? We've talked about pumpkin planning your clients, and we've talked about saying no, the power of no. I think we're almost due to come back to that. It was about 2 years ago that we talked about the power of no.
Yeah, some of those concepts, and at the very least, we can bring to our after hours connect, and we can expand on it as well.
I said something to somebody this morning, and I walked away later thinking, I need to talk about that.
Yeah.
And it's this concept of bread. And I said, so I met this guy, and he's like, oh, man, we just had headshots done in our office 2 weeks ago. I'm so sorry, I didn't know about you. I'm like, did the photographer do a good job? Well, yeah, she did a great job. I'm like, great. I'm not here to take bread out of another photographer's basket. I'm not. Like, if this person did a great job for you, stay with that person.
Yeah.
I think that speaks to integrity. I think it speaks to synergy. I think it speaks to all of us doing our best to lift each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and there's also the concept you brought up earlier about the peer aspect. You know, like, think about going to the gym. How much more do you work out when other people are watching? Or you have a trainer, right? You have somebody that's pushing you, and other people that you're being held accountable to some degree.
So that's very real for me on a bicycle on group rides.
Yeah. You push yourself a little bit more when you're...
So the whole thing, when you're riding with a group, you're riding in a peloton, right? You're riding in a pace line. Somebody's always leading.
Okay.
And
I don't know because I don't ride bikes.
And so somebody's always leading.
Okay.
And somebody's always at the back.
That makes sense.
Right? They both have jobs. You have the person who is pulling, if you will, and it is exactly that. If you are the person heading into the wind, you are creating a windbreak for all of the people behind you.
Just like birds.
And the person at the back is the sweeper. That person at the back, their job is to make sure that nobody's dropped, nobody's getting left behind, somebody has a mechanical malfunction up ahead. There's a group of people that can deal with that, or a person at the end to get a group of people to help with that. So those positions are very real, but you always take turns in all of those positions. So at some point, I'm being pulled. At some point, somebody is giving me watts of power by letting me be in their
wake?
stream, if you will.
Right.
But at some points, I'm at the front, and I'm doing the heavy work, I'm doing the pulling, and I'm giving somebody else watts. And it's good for all of us, right? So I didn't mean to make this huge metaphor thing, but it's
better together.
Better together. And it's part of the reason I love group rides.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason I love what we do with PPI and what we're trying to accomplish with our community.
Yeah, and in case you didn't make the connection, which I would imagine they would have, being part of PPI, that group effort is the same thing. Some people say, you know, what is PPI going to give me? Well, some people may feel like, oh, I've already been professional for X number of years. Why would I need to go back to PPI? What's it going to?
You can do some pulling.
You can do some pulling, and you know what? That's really rewarding. As well as you'll find as you're dealing with other professionals, even though you may yourself have had decades of experience, people are always different in the way they approach clients or editing or selling or something. And it's amazing. It's a beautiful place to be when you feel like you've done so much growth yourself that even just the littlest tidbit of a tip or a thought or an idea is like, pff, was totally worth the trip for me. Like that will save me so much energy. And it's great to be in a place where you can kind of pick and choose those little things versus like being overwhelmed with like all this you need to do.
So that's easy for me as an extrovert. I seek out both an audience and a group to follow. And sometimes they're the same and sometimes they're not. But I love to be in community. I seek that out because I'm an extrovert, and the people feed my soul, right?
Yeah, right. It's win-win-win.
That's one of the problems with working at home, right? Like I have to leave so that I can find people so that we can talk and have conversation and learn things from each other. But for introverts, and do you lean that way?
I've taken the tests and I am kind of right in the middle. I do both. I need both.
I've got a good friend. She's a self-proclaimed introvert. She says, I can extrovert, but after I extrovert, I have to go home and like put my headphones on and like rock, you know? I get that. Like she doesn't quite go fetal position, but extroverting takes a lot out of her.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that if you are introverted, this concept of come on out and step on up and join is probably a little bit of a big thing.
Yeah.
A little bit of a big thing.
Some courage.
Maybe it's just a big thing. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can do baby steps, and we've tried to provide a lot of ways for that.
We have. Yeah. So that's, you know, like the members.
Come to the lunch. Come to lunch if you find us, or
come to our after hours. I'm going to put this after hour slide back up. If you are an introvert and struggle with the potential for getting up and having to introduce yourself in front of a group, this is a great way to do that.
It is, yeah.
And it's basically just waist up, so you can come in your PJs.
That's right.
I don't actually care if you're wearing pants at all.
Or slippers, or whatever.
I just said that, didn't I? I probably shouldn't have. And then the lunch. So lunch, let's lay this out here one more time for folks that might have joined us late. We've got a lunch today.
We do.
Over at Idaho
Pizza Company
on Fairview in Meridian. At what time?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
And I like to, I mean, it's all you can eat pizza, and you can add a salad. It's all very reasonable.
And we're going to put a bunch of tables together, and we're just going to chat.
Yeah, in fact, if you come and you have questions about Fall Retreat or anything else, in fact, maybe we should also remind people, in case you didn't know, there is I think it's still registration open for Phil's one-day class for CPP prep.
Oh, let's talk CPP for just a minute.
That's coming up September 11th.
Kim Minter just finalized and
congratulations,
certified
Kim.
her technical image submissions. So she's going to be a new CPP in our community. I'm so excited for her. We've got a few more people in the pipeline. The technical imaging is challenging because it's crazy detailed. Phil's going to put on a class and talk about how to pass the test, and I think he and I might get together. We're the two CPP liaisons for this liaisons. The words aren't flowing easily today. Give me a break. It's Friday. We're the two CPP liaisons to Idaho, and we want to help folks get certified. I've had a lot of experience now with the image submission. And helping people through that. So I think Phil and I are going to team up and do something like that as we lean into the fall here.
And I'll just be one to say, yes, it is super helpful to work with people. I was intimidated for years about trying to do this, and working with Bob and Kim and some other people, having a little support group was really, really helpful. And so, and of course, I also took a class that helped, just like what Phil's offering on a one-day level versus multiple days. Definitely can help you answer your questions and take the stressors
so there
out of it a
are
little bit.
3 other classes taking place in September that are all part of the PPA workshop series.
Okay, what other?
Larry and I have a class scheduled. I think it's for the 14th. I'd have to check.
Okay.
We haven't promoted it much because we both got really busy and kind of thought, well, if it doesn't fill, that's okay.
What's the topic?
We are going to do off-camera flash, speed lights.
Good.
Speed lights
Super
and off-camera flash. And if the class doesn't fill this time, we'll probably go around again next May when they come again. We taught a workshop together back in May for this. They used to be the Super One Days.
Yeah,
now they're just called the workshops. I think Amy Peterson is co-teaching a class up in her neck of the woods.
Coeur d'Alene area?
I can't remember the topic. And I think Sky Fassett is doing a one light portrait workshop down in Idaho Falls. So there's some great educational opportunities coming up, and those are done through Professional Photographers of America. And if you go to PPA's website, ppa.com, and look for, they're right there on the front page.
Right,
you can click right into it. And if you don't see them but you want to, and I think they're starting next week and running for about 2 weeks. So if you need information on it, just hit me up with an email. I've got the stuff in my computer, and I can send you a link that you can get in and find out what those classes are and when they're scheduled and who's teaching them. Cool. Pretty excited. Phil's class is going to be great. He's been, you know what? He's been working on this for a month. Yeah. And I know he's digging deep into it.
I would say he's one of my mentors, and when I speak at Fall Retreat, I'll be talking about some of the key people in PPI that helped bring me along to where I'm at right now. Yeah. And he's definitely been one of those very supportive, friendly, easy to mentor you type of people that I've always had some gratitude for. So
my thing with Phil White.
Yes.
2017, I just moved here.
Yeah.
We're down at Albion. I joined and went to a fall retreat, and we were just talking about. And everybody's heading out to City of Rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, City of Rocks to do the
landscape
astrophotography.
With Astro, yeah.
With Jonathan Mills. And I have no idea. Like I've literally been here in Idaho for 2 months. And he's like, get in. I'm like, great. I got in with him. I didn't know he was the president of the organization at the time. Yeah. But he was just like, get in. And we drove out there together and yacked the whole time and had a good time and drove back together. And I just loved how welcoming he was. Phil's a good guy, right? So
yes.
If you're thinking CPP and you want to learn from somebody who's just great people, Phil's the guy to do that from, right?
Yes. Yep.
Good stuff. Let's hit, I don't have a lot more. So let's hit our announcements one more time.
No questions out there. We didn't really pose any questions per se, but.
Laquita says, yay, Kim. Laquita, you're next. Let's get you certified. Let's get your CPP. And I know you can do it because you're studious that way.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes.
Everything is learnable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So let's talk about Fall Retreat. We're going to hit this point briefly. Our Fall Retreat, we are 4 weeks out.
We are.
Now is the time to call the Teton Peaks Resort and reserve your place to stay. They have rooms. They have mini, what do they call them, mini resorts. They've got full hookup camping sites. They've got no hookup camping, dry camping sites. Anyway, that's coming up end of September as we are already here.
Okay, you're stressing me out.
We are already
thinking
in
about
September.
The wedding and about
your wedding's what, 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's the 18th. And then the next week
That's not 3 weeks anymore. That's 2.
2 weeks. I mean, yes, it was 3 weeks. That's why, anyway, yes.
It was 3 weeks, a week ago.
You know how fast time flies.
And then our trip out to the Tetons, and then we just began our conversation about convention.
We did. We are thinking about it. We're working on a date. We're going to dial it in and hopefully be able to announce it at Fall Retreat.
Picking a date is a lot more than just throwing darts at a dartboard.
Oh, no. Yes.
We're trying to make sure that we're outside the range of all of the other majors going on, major events.
There's a lot of other
and before
district image competition. Yeah, we want to make sure you have time to enter our state image competition and learn and get feedback, as well as be ready to.
We're planning another hybrid event.
Yes. Best of both worlds.
Yep.
It's going to be great.
And I've learned a lot.
We all have.
About the hybriding part.
Yeah. Well,
about streaming it. Let's see, Laquita says, Bob, I want to do it, but sometimes something came up and I can't take Phil's class this time. I'm still going to try. Okay. Maybe by next fall. I need help. Laquita, you're in the right spot. We are nothing but help.
That's right.
We're nothing but here to help pull you along and lift you up. That's what we're here for. All right, so that was the Teton Peaks. Let's, we already talked about the after hours. We talked about lunch today at 1 o'clock.
Be there, be square, guys.
Oh, that's going to be good.
If you can.
That's just a nice opportunity. So I'm going to drop this in here. If you're watching us, you already know that we're here on YouTube every week, almost every week.
We try.
I'm coming back. I took last week off, folks. I I had to press the I can't do it button.
Fair enough.
I just didn't have the bandwidth in my brain to pull it off last week, and then my son had broken his ankle the night before, and I was just like, I am so done.
Well, just a reminder, PPI is a nonprofit organization filled with volunteers.
Led by volunteers.
Yes, that's what we're...
We are not professional board members.
No.
We are professionals as board members.
Serving you.
That's the plan.
Yes.
So we are going to, I believe, we're going to be recording some of our events down at our fall retreat.
Okay.
Those are going to make an appearance here on the YouTube channel as well. I'm for sure hoping to record yours.
No pressure.
And build. You know what? You're going to put it out live anyway. That's so much harder than just having the camera running in the background. But that's my hope, is that we can record some of these things. I'm not going to try and push anything live from down there because I don't know what I'm going to get bandwidth-wise.
Right.
But I can record. I've got a neat little hard drive that I can record to, and then we'll push those up hopefully in the following week after retreat. But that's going to be really good too. So if you're here on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so that you can get notified when we're here. All right, that's going to be great. And then the last thing that we normally talk about, Jen, is just about how do they become a member?
It's super simple. And right now, if you go to our fall retreat, it includes one-year membership as part of your registration for an additional $50 compared to a member.
That's half price for the year.
So it's like half price. But otherwise, anytime you can go online, it's I think $99 for the year.
Yeah, $99 for the year, or $9.95 a month, something just like that. I usually say it's less than 100 and less than 10.
There you go.
Because I can't remember if it's $9.95 or $99.95 or what it is, but it's less than 100 or less than 10. $10 a month with a 1 year, 12-month commitment.
Yes.
So somebody asked me the other day. They said, if I join now, does it renew in January, or do I go for the whole year?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's
the year. You get 12 months on your membership.
Right, yeah.
We're not going to have you renew your membership in 3 months,
right,
or 6 months, or whatever that is. So it used to be that way, though. It used to be that the whole thing renewed, like the whole body of memberships renewed once a year, and now it's 12 months from when you joined. Yeah. All right, I'm done.
Okay,
You're all set.
Let's go eat some lunch.
All right.
Come join us.
I'll see you at 1 o'clock.
Bye-bye.
I'll see you at 1 o'clock.
I will be there.
We'll be there. Bye.